Thank you very much. Thank you. You might want to hold off on that till I finish, because may not be worth it.
It will.
Good evening, everybody. For those that don't know me, I'm Mark, and I'm the very proud father of this beautiful bride. As father of the bride, it's my dubious pleasure of making the first speech of the day. But it's okay, because I'm just a warm-up act for these two guys here. So, but slight change. I'm going to hand you over to the mother of the bride, who wants to say a few words herself.
What I'm about to say to you. So, I love every single one of my kids with all my heart.
Come on, keep going.
At times, it can be hard to watch them grow up. And I'm filled with pride in everything they do every day. But yesterday, I find myself. I'm going to look at Tara. Right? I found myself as Susie Mann yesterday, missing my little girl's hand. I just wanted to hold it again. So then, today I realised that today was going to be different. I was going to be helping my little girl into her wedding dress. My little girl is now grown up. She makes me so proud of who she is and how beautiful she is inside. She now shares that beauty with us. And I'm so pleased he's now the one who's going to go. Congratulations to Mrs.
It's completely messed up at the beginning of my speech now. So I'll just start anywhere, I think. Well, according to the internet, the father of the bride has 4 areas to cover in his speech. Number 1 is to welcome everyone to this fine occasion. Number 2 is to say a few words about the bride in a loving and balanced way. Number 3 is to give some words of advice to the happy couple. And finally, to give the first of the toast to the most important people here today, Susie and Adam. So my first job, I would like to welcome you all and thank you all for coming to this very special occasion to celebrate the marriage of my daughter Susie to Adam. I've had to write your names down just in case. I'd also like to thank everyone who has helped in the lead up to the wedding, and there's lots of you here, in whatever way possible, big or small. You've all played a part to make this a very special day. Job number 2. Do you remember what job number 2 was? Marriages, like births, mark a new beginning. The morning I drove home from the hospital, I'm going to start now. After Susie was born, was a new beginning for me. To be the father of a beautiful daughter seemed completely overwhelming and extremely scary. In fact, the second you were born changed everything for me. Let me turn the page. She became daddy's girl on the day she was born and has always been a princess to me, as have all of my girls. Some of you over there. All right, girls? And I know that she has always dreamt of this day and how perfect it would be when she marries her Prince Charming. I would like to point out Susie actually has 3 dads, not just one. So I'd like to mention Lee and Lee. Susie really has grown up quickly. It doesn't seem long ago that she was running around the garden with no knickers and eating mud. I'm glad to say that she stopped eating mud. Susie is a truly special girl. Speaking of special, Susie, your whole family and I are actually acutely aware of just how blessed we have been to have you in our lives. And we hope you're aware just exactly how much we love you. and how very proud we are of the lovely young lady that you have become. It's been an absolute joy for us to watch a very talkative, extremely inquisitive, and often clumsy little girl develop into the very beautiful, clever, compassionate, and extremely loving young lady that it was my absolute honour and privilege to escort down the aisle today. While preparing this speech, I was getting a little sentimental and decided to get out a few photograph albums. Tears welled up in my eyes as I turned the pages, and the one picture that stood out from all the rest was the striking photograph of my precious daughter lying on a rug, dribbling and pointing at the camera lens. What a treasure she looked as she tried to stand on her little wobbly legs. And I'm sure she'll never forget her 18th birthday either. It's now my duty and great pleasure to formally welcome Adam into our family. I say formally because he's already made himself at home with us, and to all intents and purposes has long been in the family. And if I can court danger for a moment, I may say, Adam, now that you're actually married to Susie, you are well and truly in it. I should also like to welcome Darren and Tara, and would like to say what a fine job you've both done with Adam, and you must be very, very proud of him. Now my third job, the advice. Adam, just remember that a man who gives in when he is wrong is a wise man. But a man who gives in when he is right is a married man. Okay? And they say when a man holds a woman's hand before marriage, it is love. When he holds her hand after marriage, it's self-defense. I can't stress enough how proud I am today and how good it is to have all of you here. I hope you all have an absolutely fabulous time. So, my final duty, thank God I hear you all say, is to propose a toast to Susie and Adam. So please be upstanding. Come on, the internet says stand up. No, not you. You don't have to stand up, sweetheart. You can sit down. So let's drink the most important toast of the day, to the most important people of the day, to the bride and groom, Susie and Adam. I'm done.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome. All right, sweetheart. I didn't want to embarrass you too much.
No, you did it perfect.
I thought I'd save it. I thought I'd save the embarrassment till later when we have a dance.
Thank you. Oh dear, let me just compose myself a second. Oh dear. I thought it was the bride that was supposed to cry, not me. Thank you, Mark and Audrey, for your lovely words. That was made me well up a little bit. Why aren't you crying? Why is it me?
I did.
You did? That's nice. Sorry, bear with me. Right then, hello, welcome everybody. There's going to be quite a few thank yous in my speech, so this could take a little while. So we'll be here till midnight this evening, hope you don't mind. So please make sure your glass is all full at all times. Well done.
Yes, I'm double parked.
Double parked. I just want to thank everybody that's come here today, who's travelled, from far away and from close around the corner. We've got people from literally down the road and people from New Zealand as well. So, yeah, thanks, Colin. Thanks, Colin. You can save the heckle until later. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Carry on colouring.
Hey?
Carry on colouring.
Yeah. It's so nice to see so many friends and family here. I can honestly say it would not have been the same without you, just an awful lot cheaper. So, a bit like Mark, I've got a few points I need to go through. The first one, I want to talk about my lovely new wife. So, as part of my speech, I didn't actually write anything because I wanted to do it from the heart. So I'm going to put that down there.
Here we go again.
Sorry. So we've been together 5 years now. It was 5 years, 21 days ago. We quite like our countdowns, don't we? For many of you that don't know, funny enough, we met on online dating. I know it seems to be the modern thing, but actually the true story is we actually met a year previous, where I actually sang Susie a song in a venue in Weston. It's a Michael Bublé song. I'm not going to sing it, don't worry. Funny enough, it was a song called Cry Me a River, which is probably something I've been doing most of the day, to be honest. And it's been the best 5 years of my life. We have done so much. We've travelled so much. We've done so much together. And I couldn't ask for a better wife. So I just want you to know that I love you so much. And 5 years is just a fraction of what we're going to spend together. And I love you. At this point, I just want to say a very big thank you to all of you who've made this day possible. You know, and then I want to scrutinise my parents now. My lovely mum and dad. So, my mum and dad, I love you so much. Like, obviously, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today. I know, been
Let's
all
hold hands. Let's hold hands back in the 80s.
between the both of you, you've taught me so much, you know, from rights and wrongs. I never seem to get your gift of the gab. That's one thing I never got from you. You've taught me so much about standing up for myself and all of that, and especially you've taught me about budgeting, so I now know exactly how long this wedding is going to take to pay off. And the fact that from day one you accepted Susie. You've said to me that she was the one and that I had to keep hold of her.
Yeah.
And I did. I put a ring on it. So I just want to thank you for accepting her so much. So if everybody can raise a glass to my parents. I'm not going to make you stand up. It's not comedy. So to my mum and dad, Tara and Darren, cheers. So,
Drink to that.
you'll drink to that.
Drink to that.
So, moving on to Susie's parents, all four of them.
Is that all?
This is why the speech is going to take so long, because I've got to speak about all four of them. I'd just like to thank you all for your incredible jobs you have done raising Susie. She's kind and positive and loving, and she has a great sense of humour. I can see all of your qualities in her. I'm supposed to thank you for accepting me and your family, but as you said, Mark, in your speech, I'm already welcome. And obviously to Audrey and Lee and Lisa, you've accepted me so much, and I can't wish for anything more than just to be accepted. Sorry, I skipped a bit. So we'll pick on Audrey and Lee to start with. You've truly made this day magical. All the decorations you can see here have had blood, sweat, tears in creating them. Possibly the occasional argument, I'm not sure. We don't want to talk about that? Okay, sorry. I can truly say they look incredible, and all me and Susie can do is just thank you for making this so special. I'm not one for public speaking, so bear with me. Oh, one thing, Audrey, what I'm quite glad is that you can put the guillotine away now, and I don't have to use that anymore. It's my Christmas. I just want to mention that there's a Lumiere figure downstairs. It was created by Lee as well, painstakingly. He is a gift, so feel free to take pictures as much as you like. Did you drop something?
Yeah, so carry on.
Feel free to take pictures as much as you like, but please don't touch. He is fragile. and we're going to take that home and find a nice place to put it. A nice memory of the day. So if we can have a toast for Audra and Lee. If everybody can raise their glass to Audra and Lee. Right, let's pick on the other two then. Mark and Lisa. Thank you again for your support, obviously on raising Susie, and just being incredible. I know that Susie wouldn't want today any other way, and Lisa, the flowers that you've created are phenomenal. The fact is that the photographer thought that the flowers were real just proves how amazing they actually are. I also know that Susie's dreams have come true today because she managed to tick one thing off her list, and that's have a harpist. So thank you to both of you for doing that. So, a toast for Mark and Lisa. To Mark and Lisa, thank you. Did I steal your drink?
Can I have a drink? Can I have one as well?
Of course you can have a drink. I know that I said that Susie has 2 lots of parents, but as we've established, they have 3 sets of parents. It definitely makes Christmas very complicated. I'd always start again. I would also like to make a toast to Debbie and Lee for also having a very big part in Susie's life and helping her become the woman she is today and making her Disney mad. I'm personally blaming you two. So, here's to the both of you, Debbie and Lee.
We're drunk at this rate.
Right then, over to the bridesmaids. I'd like you all to raise a glass and join me in toasting the bridesmaids, Abby, Laura, Emma and Georgia. As I'm sure you'll agree, they all look absolutely stunning. And you girls have been great to Susie with planning and all of the things you've done for her over the past couple of weeks. So, here's to you girls. To all the girls, to the bridesmaids. So that just leaves me with one last thing, and that's to hand over to my best man. As you can see by my speech, I've written, say something nice. And I'm hoping, the 23 years I've known Nick, that he has something funny to tell you, something sad to tell you, and something completely irrelevant. So I'm going to pass you over to my best man, Mr. Nick Smith.
Thank you. Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nick, and I'm the best man. Now, I've been friends with Adam for a long time now, in fact, almost a quarter of a century. And with Susie, I can tell you right now that after all this time, I still haven't worked out how to get away from him or his love of singing power ballads. In fact, I think you're going to have to put up with them forever. But that's okay, because you knew this when you met him. I just hope that now you've said yes, you've learnt the lyrics, and you're prepared to join in. Now, before I go any further, I want to lay down a couple of rules here. If any of you have a mobile phone, then by all means, please leave them switched on and entertain yourselves. In fact, if any of you get any good jokes, then please send them my way, because as you can tell, I'm going to need all the help I can get. To start off with, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Adam for asking me to be the best man. It really means a lot to me after all these years of putting up with him, and it appears that my patience has finally paid off. I'd also like to point out how lovely the bride and bridesmaids look this evening, which is great, because if they weren't, then this pre-written speech would have had to go in a bin. But honestly, they look fantastic, and anyone would be lucky to be with them. So, for all of those among you who know Susie, you will know that she is a wonderful and caring person who deserves a good husband. So I'm really happy for Adam that he managed to marry her before she found one. Because let's be honest, all of Adam's ex-girlfriends have one thing in common. They were all basket cases. And the only thing I couldn't work out was whether he chose them that way or whether he made them that way. But what's worse was that each one was crazier than last. Now, back when me and Adam were growing up, we didn't have the internet to download whatever we wanted, when we wanted it. No. We had to get our naughty pictures the old-fashioned way. In fact, I can remember a time when an underage Adam, who must have been about 13, casually tried to buy a top-shelf magazine as if they'd actually sell them here. Needless to say, he wasn't successful, and I reckon the Littlewoods catalogue ended up with a few missing pages. Over the years that we've known each other, we've grown into a habit of meeting up and going for a walk as a poorly conceived way of trying to keep the weight off without actually doing any real exercise or dieting. As a consequence of these walks, we have kept in touch and witnessed each other go through significant moments in our lives. Poor Adam here has had to endure my rants about not being able to find someone to date, while I've had to witness Adam go through several doomed relationships from start to finish. And neither of us were ever really sure who was better or worse off. In this time that I've known Adam, I have seen him have his first fling, I've seen him date people of questionable character, and I've seen him heartbroken. But the one thing I have never seen him be is to be truly happy. Now, it may seem cliche, but it's true. In all of his previous relationships, it always seemed that to some extent, Adam had to hide a bit of his personality and who he was out of fear that he would scare away whomever he was dating. But with Susie, I could tell that from the start it was different. And I honestly believe that they have found in each other what so many of us seek, but so few of us find. In Susie, he has found someone whom he can be himself around, someone who lifts him up in life, and someone to spend the rest of it with. And for once, I have to admit that I'm actually jealous. So finally, I would like to invite everyone here to stand up. And join me as we raise our glasses in a toast to Adam and Susie and congratulate them on their wedding and wish them well for the future. To Mr. and Mrs. Phillips.